Dave, a lot of expectations going into the season after the franchise record number of wins at the end of the regular season. Maybe they even went up a little bit more. What do you say to Dodger fans? What did you say to your guys in the clubhouse after the first round elimination?
It's one of those things that you can't script. Made sure that the guys understood, how proud I was, how they competed all year long. Didn't take a day off. You got to give credit to the Nationals, the way they played and came in here and won a series. Obviously, very, very, disappointing is probably an understatement. But I think it's just one of those things that, we got beat and just disappointed for everyone.
Right side, Andy.
Dave, with Kenta having warmed up already, why did you decide to stick with Clayton to face the heart of their order?
Well, with Kenta right there, it was one of those. Clayton, I felt good about Clayton right there at Eaton, and when you got Rendon and Soto, so I felt that I like Clayton. I threw, I don't know what it was, a couple pitches, and we had Clayton ready for whatever today. And so for Maeda to go through Soto, Kenta in this role, we really liked him against the right-hander. And the success that Clayton's had against Soto with a 2-run lead, I'll take Clayton, any day in that situation. I just think it's one of those where it was easy for me to get Clayton with the low pitches, to get Rendon and then go out there and get Soto, and to have Kenta behind him. That was my thought, and not have Kenta go through Soto.
Just could you take us through your thought process in the 10th, bringing back Kelly for a second inning, intentionally walking Soto rather than Kolarek, and letting Kelly face Kendrick?
Yeah. Obviously, Kelly, you're looking at obviously a tie ball game, and Kelly goes in there, throws 10 pitches, and he's throwing the baseball really well. He's arguably our most, rested reliever in the way he was throwing the baseball. So I felt it was pretty easy. Don't have a lot of guys as far as, behind Kenley. I liked Joe right there in that spot. I really did. After 10 pitches, there was no stress, ball coming out well. And so for him to go out there and take down that inning and to have Kenley take down the other part of the order, I felt really good about it. And as far as that, second and third, nobody out. You're in a tie ball game. You could go to Kolarek. Infield's going to be in. Hope for a punch, but I just felt that Joe had a good chance to put Howie on the ground and potentially then get Kenley on Zimmerman. And so my thought was to try to get a ground ball right there.
Front row.
So I know you said not Kershaw is your guy, but at what point is there kind of another question about that?
I don't understand that question.
I guess when is the analytics going to come into play and show that Kershaw hasn't been successful in the postseason? When is that kind of a conversation to have?
That's a tough question for me to answer, honestly.
JP in the back row.
No, pregame you mentioned it was all hands on deck. Just how available were guys like Rich Hill, Dustin May, Stripling, and I guess Julio down in the bullpen?
Julio's available. Obviously, Dustin's available, but 2 innings in an off day, we haven't done that to him. So now you're looking at potential effectiveness. And so I don't think anybody could have been more effective than Joe in that 9th inning. And so it was 10 pitches, the velocity, the command, the curveball. And so, to go out there and send them out there again, I felt really good about it.
Back left.
Dave, obviously you played over the years with the many athletes I've interviewed. They remember the really rough times equally as much, if not more, than the great times many years after their career. What do you say to Clayton Kershaw after tonight?
He's a pro. He's probably the best pitcher of our generation. And for him to make himself available tonight and got us out of a big spot right there, and it just didn't work out. And so, there's always going to be second guessing when things don't work out. But I'll take my chances any day on Clayton, and it just didn't work out right there.
Barry, second row.
Hey, Doc. So rephrasing the question a little here, you went with Buehler for 117, which is a little abnormal for what you usually do. How much of this game was bent on the analytics, and how much of it was bent on gut feeling about what you thought was the right thing to do in those situations?
Well, I don't think, analytics, well, Walker was throwing the baseball well. The command, nothing was compromised. And, once he walked Turner, I thought Walker had had enough. I thought he emptied the tank. And so to get Clayton to get us out of that spot, I felt good about it. And Clayton, it's not about analytics, it's about he's one of the best pitchers in the game. And for him to go out there and throw 4 pitches and to go back out there and get 2 hitters, I felt really good about that. And so, it's more of, I don't think it was an analytic question. It's a guy that I believe in, I trust. And, it didn't work out. Kenta ended up cleaning it up. And Joe Kelly comes out, rested, and threw the ball really well and was very efficient. And my eyes tell me that he should go back out there because he's throwing the baseball really well.
Couple more, Andy.
Dave, even when you have faith in your process, when bullpen decisions backfire, the manager tends to get blamed. Do you feel responsibility for this loss?
Sure. I mean, if the blame falls on me, I've got no problem with it. I feel that, my job is to put guys in the best position to have success. And if it doesn't work out, there's always going to be second guessing. And I got no problem, wearing the brunt of that. That's okay.
Yeah, I didn't have the command from anyone in inning 2. It was one of those things that, had some pretty good at-bats, obviously. And then Howie with the fastball left it too much plate, trying to go in. Took a swing and obviously hit the homer.
What was that pitch to Howie Kendrick? Was something you were trying to run down and in and just didn't get in and down far enough?
Yeah, he's one of those professional hitters. He's one of the guys in the lineup for them that have a good at-bat no matter what, no matter the score. Tough to make him swing and miss. Just one of those things where you try to run the ball in, try to get weak contact or double play. And it was one of those pitches that, obviously got too much plate, put a great swing on and hit home.
Joe, from the highs of last season for you to this moment here, you obviously came here in the offseason to lift them and give them. What does this feel like overall for you?
It sucks. It's not a good feeling. We got 25, even more with the guys that weren't on the roster in this clubhouse who scrap it on every single day. We had obviously a great regular season. We fell short for ultimate goal, but it's going to be it's definitely going to be sad. Some of these guys won't ever play baseball again. Some guys might retire, but it's one of those things that wasn't the lack of effort, lack of talent. We had the talent. Just get beat, in a game 5. Obviously anything could happen, and those are good talented players on that team, and they pitch well, hit well, play good D. We ended up falling short, and they just beat us.
Joe, you guys are 6 outs away. How hard is this going to be to kind of let go and move on?
Yeah, it's gonna be real tough. Like I said, there's the lows and the highs of the season, and then obviously this is not anything that we were prepared for. We fell short of the goal. Obviously no one's happy with the result. We're going home now, but kind of just like I said, it's gonna be sad for the guys that will never play again. That's probably the hardest thing that
What an absolute gut punch that was to finish off the season after what was the greatest regular season in franchise history with 106 wins. And things looked good early on in this one, Nomar. You have a 3-0 lead, a couple home runs off of Steven Strasburg, but the Nationals coming back and coming up with some big home runs in the 8th inning and then in the 10th to win it.
Yeah, well, the Dodgers are definitely going to look at themselves and say, man, we had our chances. They know that you couldn't take your foot off the gas, especially when you scored 3 off Strasburg. You had to keep going as well. Everybody needed to do their job. Everybody didn't do it. You needed guys coming out of the bullpen to do their job. They weren't able to. The Dodgers had other opportunities, runner scoring position. They didn't do it. And, you know, this year it's win World Series or bust. And guess what? It's a bust. It's just simple as that. They know that. And it's disappointing. They have another offseason to dwell on that.
So they got a couple of gut punches with the Clayton Kershaw home runs, those 2 home runs to tie the game, and then the knockout from Howie Kendrick. That really made it a really painful evening, and it's really hard to have 3 more outs to get 4 more runs at the end. You feel like you got a chance, even after Clayton gives up the 2 home runs. You're in it. You've had many a walk-off. You've had 12 walk-offs at home this year in the regular season. You feel like this is going to be a magical night. I know it's tough right now, but going up to the point where Clayton strikes out the guy when he first comes in and then goes back out there, and in 2 pitches, all of a sudden it's a tie game. That's when all of a sudden the boxing match got tough and they got knocked out at the end.